We are here tonight to talk a little bit about flexibility. And flexibility can mean a lot of things, but for our purposes tonight, we're going to be talking about a few things specifically. So we'll be talking about admissions and enrollment, course program options, a little bit about Quick Path, my choice course modalities, so the different ways that you can take courses, and the flexible payment options. So we'll start with admissions and enrollment. Just a little bit about the college. We are an open enrollment institution, so everyone is accepted. What that means is when you fill out our new student application, you are automatically eligible to take courses at the college. You're not necessarily waiting for a letter that's saying either you're accepted to the college or you're not. Everyone is accepted. That being said, there are certain courses or programs that may have prerequisites on them or require testing. So admission to the college doesn't necessarily mean direct admission into a program if that program has specific requirements to it. There are many ways to meet course placement requirements. So for those courses that do have a prerequisite on it, you can potentially use ACT or SAT scores. You can use potentially your high school GPA. You could take a look at maybe prior coursework that would get you into a class that you're looking at. Or if none of those happen to work, we also have a placement testing process with the college where you take what's called the AccuPlacer test with us. We ask you when you fill out the new student application to declare a major, but by all means, you're not locked into that. You can change that major at any time. And if you're undecided, that's completely okay as well. About 60% of the students that apply to us are undecided. So you're certainly not alone if you're in that category. You can stop and start classes as needed. So we know, particularly in this environment, life things happen. Sometimes it's just not a good time to be taking classes. You might need to take a break. So you do have the ability to stop and start, although we do know that more successfully students get through programs when they do continue from semester to semester without taking a break in between. You can attend both full-time or part-time. So full-time would be 12 credit hours or more. That's typically 4 classes or above. Part-time is anything below that. And you can switch between those two things from semester to semester. So you might have one semester where things are going pretty well and you've got a lot of time and you're able to commit that time to a full-time schedule. And then you might have a semester where you've got some difficult classes coming, or you have some other things in your life that are happening where you can't commit to full-time, but you can commit to taking 1 or 2 classes to keep your momentum. And registration for classes typically stays open until the Sunday before the course starts. That being said, that's as long as there's a seat left in that course. So you may find that some courses are filled, there's no more seats left, but if there is a seat, you have up until that Sunday before the class starts to grab one. So course program options, we have quite a few different types of courses and degree programs. So there's credit or non-credit. For the purposes of tonight's presentation, we're really focusing more on the credit. We have transfer or career-focused degrees and certificates, or you have the ability to just take a course or two. So maybe your intention is not to complete a degree with us. Maybe you know that you have just 1 or 2 classes that you need to take to be able to transfer to your next institution, and you are certainly able to do that. So the transfer options, the different transfer degrees that we offer are the Associate in Arts and the Associate in Science. And those are the 2 main ones. And each of those is 60 credits each. So if you're going full time, typically taking you about 2 years to complete. We do have what's called the Gen Ed Core curriculum. It's a little bit shorter, 37 to 41 credits, but it's not considered a full degree. So this might be for students who know that they want to complete maybe a smaller set of classes to get some Gen Eds done, but when you finish those, you wouldn't come out with an associate degree. We have some students who attend just summer only. So maybe you have a homeschool that you attend for most of the academic year, a 4-year institution, but you come home for the summer and you want to keep going and stay on track. So you pick up a summer class. We have lots of students that are doing that right now. And then we do have a couple specialty degrees as well. So an associate in engineering science and an associate in fine arts. So obviously very specialized to those academic areas. But by and large, the overwhelming majority of our students will earn either the AA or the AS if they're pursuing a degree. So transfer pathways, when students say, well, what can I quote unquote major in at Waubonsie? So these are the different transfer pathways that we have. And these are really designed for you to get your general education courses done and then some elective credits. So typically there's about 6 classes that are considered electives within your associate degree. And those are ones that are done within the major that you're looking to pursue when you go to your 4-year school. So when you graduate, your degree doesn't necessarily say you have an associate of science in in biology. It's just going to say an associate of science. It's not going to have an emphasis on it, but you will have met the prerequisites that you need to transfer into your 4-year school for whatever program you're looking at.
All right, so I will start once again. My name is Chassie Schertz. I am the manager for the Quick Path program. So the Quick Path degree program is a program where students will be able to receive their associate's degree within 1 year. And so in the past, we were only designated to do the Associates of Art degree, but now we are able to do an associate's degree for those students within the 12 months. Students learn in a cohort model. And so the students take the majority of their general education classes together, and they get to learn together. The students also are able to take advantage of some additional resources, and they have a designated professional that will help them along the way within this cohort. The students are able to plan their schedule for the entire year, so they know exactly what classes they're going to take from summer to summer for the entire year. Students are also in the cohort, their classes are 8-week classes. So they take English for 8 weeks, and then they take the second English for 8 weeks. So that's how their classes are scheduled within that. The majority of our classes are hybrid courses, but we do offer some courses within different modalities. So some of the eligibility requirements of the Quick Path program is that students have to have a high level of commitment, and they have to have motivation to finish the degree. It is a lot of work that students are doing within the 12 to 15 months that it takes them to complete the program. And so having that high level of commitment and the motivation to complete it is very beneficial. Also, students have to demonstrate college readiness through some of the things that Joy talked about. Students have to have at least a 2.5 high school GPA to be a part of the program when they're coming directly out of high school. Students also, depending on what courses that they've taken within their high school, so if they've taken dual credit or AP courses, or if they've taken the AccuPlacer that has placed them into different courses, they have to demonstrate that as college readiness. Students also have to, we also look at SAT scores. So depending on whatever you have submitted when you've completed your new student application and all the processes that you've gone through with admissions, then when you complete there's an additional application for the Quick Path program. We will look at that, look at you holistically from that. So some of the other requirements, like I said before, this is a program that starts the first summer the summer after you graduate from high school. So there's 2 summers that you would be involved, and then fall and spring. And so within that, the first classes that you take will be like a first year experience class, and then also another class that is an 8-week course. And that kind of gets you ready for the fall to make sure that you have all the necessary tools that you need within the Quick Path program to succeed. Students also have to have a 2.0 cumulative GPA throughout the program. That's a standard that we have at Waubonsie. And so that's something that the student must have in order to stay in the program through the duration of it. The majority of students, the last time I looked at our data for our GPA, students have at least a 3.4 GPA while they're in the program. Also, students will meet regularly with an academic coach, with their assigned counselor, through advising, a tutor, and with the project manager. And so the reason why students do that is to keep them accountable of the things that they need to do, and to make sure that they're doing the process smoothly throughout the program. Another thing is that students will be taking up to 25 credit hours per semester. And so that's why it takes, the classes are very fast paced. The faculty members have been trained to teach these classes at an accelerated rate. And so that's why it's very important for the students who are a part of the program to feel comfortable and feel relaxed within this setting. Are there any questions that you have for me? If you do, I will answer them after this, but you can always call me or contact me via email. If you can't remember this email address, I do have an email address, quickpath@waubonsee.edu. That's also available for you to email me. There is an application process, like I said before. The application can be found on the Waubonsee website, which is waubonsee.edu/quickpath. And students can get as much information as they can from that if they do have questions. Thank you very much.
So up to this point, we've really talked about the full associate degree programs. So those programs that will typically take 2 years, or again, because of our wanting to promote flexibility, having Chassie's opportunity to do a program in 1 year. There is another type of credential that you can pursue with the college. Those are associate in applied science degrees. So these are designed for students who are thinking that maybe transferring is not for them. They're more interested in doing a specific set of courses that are very specific to their major, not a lot of general education requirements, and wanting to go into the workforce quicker. So these are typically known as career and technical education, or CTE programs. These are 60 credits, just like a transferable degree, so taking 2 years to complete, but there's very few gen ed courses within the curriculum for these programs. It's not designed to transfer to a 4-year school. There are a few programs where there is an option at a 4-year school to continue that, but by and large, these programs don't necessarily have a lot of schools that offer a 4-year degree in that area. So some of the career programs that we have are listed here. Again, a lot of these are technical programs, a lot of things in the medical field. Some of these are 2-year programs. Some of these are shorter term certificates, so things that might take a year to do as opposed to 2, but we'll talk a little bit about those as well. So short-term certificates, these are ones that are typically taking a year or less to complete. Some of them have as few as 5 classes in them, but again, it's giving you the skills you need to get into that specific career or technical area and be employable as soon as you finish the credential. So the My Choice options, let's talk a little bit about these. These are referring to the formats that you can take a course in. And particularly in this environment, we're getting a lot of questions from students who want to know, well, what format am I taking my course in? Do I have to be on campus coming face to face? Do you have an online option? Do you have something that's live? People are still wanting to have that structure of a set meeting time. So we're going to go through what those are through My Choice. Face-to-face is just like it sounds. It does meet in a classroom setting on one of our 4 campuses. So our main campus is here at Sugar Grove, but we also have a campus at Aurora downtown near the Paramount Theater. We have one at Aurora Fox Valley on the Copley Hospital campus, and that's home to our health programs. And we also have a Plano campus, which is our Innovation and Design Center. So some of those CTE programs in the previous slide live out of the Plano campus. And these will be in your traditional classroom settings, obviously at this point, appropriately socially distanced, but giving you an opportunity to be face-to-face with your classmates and your instructor. The online courses in this particular format, where it says just online, has no set meeting time to it. So the instructor is going to upload content into what's called Canvas. That's our learning management system. And so you'll have a syllabus just like in a normal class. It'll lay out for you what all of the assignments and the readings are and give you all of the due dates. But you have the flexibility to go on and watch those lessons or read that content or submit that homework during the time that's right for you. So let's say you are somebody who works, third shift. So you keep kind of odd hours and, you need to be doing your coursework at maybe a non-traditional sort of time. Online class gives you the flexibility to do that. A hybrid is just like it sounds. It's a combination of in-person and online learning. So hybrids will have a specific time where you are expected to be in class, and that is typically an in-person class. So you might have 1 day a week during a specific time frame where you'll have to come to campus and be in class, but the rest of that course is done online. And the online piece does not have a set time to it. So that, again, is that what's called an asynchronous mode, where you're doing that online content at a time that's convenient for you. Sync Online has been especially popular right now for students who are really adjusting to that online learning format, but still want some sense of a traditional classroom in it. So the Sync Online does have a fixed scheduled meeting time, and it's conducted through video conferencing, so a Zoom, just like we're doing right now, but a Sync Online will follow a more traditional course schedule. So for example, you might have class meetings on Tuesday and Thursday mornings or Monday and Wednesday afternoons. So it gives you that structure and that live instruction time and that live interaction with your classmates. But if you are in a position where you're not necessarily comfortable coming to campus yet, or you're unable to get to campus, it's a great opportunity to get your courses done online. And Flex actually gives you the opportunity to switch between these modalities throughout the course. So let's say one week, you really just kind of want to get out, you want to go to campus, you want to sit in a live face-to-face setting, you can certainly do that. Maybe the next week something comes up, you can't make it to the face-to-face class during the assigned time, but you've got some extra time at night or whatnot to work on the course. You can go into that online format and catch up on that lecture or that reading through a recording in Canvas. You can, if you decide one time you don't want to go to campus, but you want to have that live time, there is a Sync Online option where you can tune in live to that instructor or to that class. So it really is allowing flexibility based on the changes that you might need within your schedule week to week. So full-time versus part-time, we talked a little bit about this. So full-time is 12 credit hours or more, generally 4 or more classes. Part-time is anything less than 12, so generally 3 classes or less. And a lot of students have a assumption that if you're a financial aid applicant, you have to be a full-time student. That is not the case. So if you are filling out the FAFSA or the Illinois Alternative Application for aid, you can receive aid if you are a part-time student. That being said, it is prorated. So for example, if you were offered a certain amount of money, if you were going to be a full-time student, it might be a reduced amount if you attend part-time, but it is still available to you. So the flexible scheduling options, all of those course formats that I mentioned have daytime, evening, and weekend options to them. So really able to work around your life and the things that you have going. Even the duration of the classes have different options. So our standard semester is 16 weeks. For our fall semester, that means classes starting in August and ending in December. For our spring semester, that means courses start in January and end in May. We do have a 12-week session. So maybe if you just kind of weren't ready to start in August, but you don't want to be too far behind, we have sessions that start in September or sessions that start like in late February. We do have 8-week sessions, so doing that 16-week course in half the time. We have 4-week sessions and we have 3-week sessions. And typically the 4-week and the 3-week you see more in our summer semester. You don't see a whole lot of those options in the fall and the spring, but there are some. That being said, it's important to tell all of you that when you take a course in one of those accelerated formats, so the 3-week, 4-week, 8-week, 12-week, the content is not shortened in any way. You're really taking 16 weeks of material and condensing it into that shorter amount of time. So what that might mean is that if you have an in-person class, that class session is going to be longer to get all of that time in, or it's going to mean that the content goes a lot quicker. So I always tell students, really think about what class that you might want to take in an accelerated format. You want to pick something where you're strong in that subject area. As tempting as it might be to say, oh my gosh, I really hate math, I want to get it done in 3 weeks. Maybe not the best way to go about it if it's something that's going to go really intensive and really fast. So the last thing is payment options. So we have a lot of flexible payment options. We know a lot of students have concerns about financing their education or are in a position where you need to be able to make gradual payment plans to pay off your tuition. So we do have what's called our Chiefs payment plan. Those are opportunities for the earlier you register, the more installments you have to spread your tuition across. So if you're registering right when fall registration opens up in May, you'll have typically 5 payments, monthly payments that you can make to pay off your tuition. As we get closer to the start of the semester, the number of installments that you have gets smaller. So there really is a benefit to registering early. Deferred payment plans are available for students who are waiting on a verified source of payment. So this can be a lot of things. That means if you are in the FAFSA financial aid application process and you haven't quite submitted all your paperwork or you have some missing requirements, you can sign up for a deferred payment plan. It's $25 down, but then it gives you extra time to get all of those materials submitted so that hopefully then your financial aid is picking up the course. But deferred payment plan doesn't necessarily have to be from the FAFSA. It could be, for example, example, if your employer is paying for your education and they need some documentation from you before they will make the payment, or if you have a college savings plan and whatever organization you have that savings plan with, if they send the payment directly to the college, this allows time for that to happen and you wouldn't have to put out a large payment up front. For the FAFSA, there are 2 FAFSAs open right now. So there's one open for 2021. And so if any of you are considering a summer class, you can still apply for financial aid for summer, and that's on the 2021 form. For those of you that are thinking that you want to start in the fall, you would fill out the 21-22 form. So one of the biggest pieces of confusion or thing that sometimes holds people up is that they filled out a FAFSA for the wrong year, depending on when they want to attend. We do have the Reach Higher Scholarship. That's some funds that would be available to students after they've completed the registration process. And then books can also be charged to your student account. So you can roll the cost of your textbooks into your payment plan. Books can be kind of expensive. We usually tell students budget about $350 to $500. And, that's a big amount to also have to come up with at once. So it's nice that you can add that book cost to your payment plans. If you're interested in moving forward, the first thing that you would do is fill out our new student application. You would go to waubonsie.edu/apply. The form will take you about 10 minutes to complete. It will generate what's called an X number for you. That's our student ID number. It doesn't lock you into anything, but an X number is required for you to move forward with other steps in the process, like placement testing or registration. Thank you, everyone. Have a great evening.
Thank you.